proven that when you have the right gender mix, the right gender diversity, you get better outcomes. And I think that holds true even when it comes to supporting women entrepreneurs. And we want to make sure that we proven that when you have the right gender mix, the right gender diversity, you get better outcomes. And I think that holds true even when it comes to supporting women entrepreneurs. And we want to make sure that we don't just talk about it, that we live it on a day-to-day basis. I think you've seen here on the She Trades KE front, they've got bold ambitions. When they said they wanted to work with 3 million women, empowering them and taking their businesses international across the world, we said that's something we want to be involved with and play our part. We've subsequently moved a long way since that date, and now we've even enhanced our products even further. We believe we have arguably what is one of the best SME offerings, our Wezesha Biashara series of offerings. And in there, one of the things we offer is unsecured loans of up to 10 million with a repayment tenor of up to 6 years. And I think that goes to the point of covering off this challenge of not having security. Because I think with 10 million, you can do a lot to fulfill contracts. You can do a lot to get your business up and running.
So we have very, very strong women in key positions in Barclays, and that's all the way across the ranks and also at the board. Absa we put our money where our mouth is. And I think it's only possible because Absa says we want women to take their place at the table and we want their voices to be heard.
Let me also congratulate Absa for the transition you have taken, because I think you have understood the world, where the world is going. You have understood with these changes, I think you are better off being a continental bank. Through She Trades initiative, I see an impressive lineup of champions of gender equality and women empowerment with focus on one of the key drivers of the economy, entrepreneurship.
I want everyone in this room to move away from being referred to as a little kabiashara to being businesses that are sustainable, businesses that change lives, businesses that are recognized, businesses more than anything that can access this 10 billion shillings that as Absa we're putting out there.
Say, if you don't support a woman to do what they need to do and to do it well, then really we're losing out on opportunity. As we sat in the various sessions, as we were coming up with this conversation around women and the propositions that we wanted to do around with Absa, as we were changing our brand from Barclays, of course, into Absa, it was one of those conversations where we had to be intentional to put women in the center of this conversation.
So if you really want to do business, if you want to get into the big ticket items, you need to start making the effort. You've been told if you want to get into energy, but also understand those guys, they whip each other, they cut each other's legs, they come with their studs all over. So if you're a woman who can't hack it, just first understand how is that field, and you know how you want to navigate. But the money is there, the opportunities are there. But you need to understand, first it starts with rejection and frustration, and then education, and then acceptance.
Africanacity is not just a word, it is part of who we are and our commitment to working with you to find a way to get things done. We love Africanacity. As we turn one, we want to celebrate Kenya's Africanacity. Post your ambitions on our digital wall of possibilities and let's get things done together. Because we are not just turning one, we are one with you.
So exciting to have all of you present here and present online. We're not just aiming to be a PLC, but we want to forge and hold the hands of those behind us, even as we reach for the stars in our vision to grow leaders and add value to the community.
We see ourselves trying to participate in that shifting space. How else do we remain relevant? And that's why Standard Group came on board.
I think for me, COVID has been many things. But ultimately what I think I take away from this is that we are really stronger than many times we think we are.
I think there's very few companies who, number one, don't understand that their return comes from there being a healthy society of people who are making good livelihoods and who are able to contribute as employees and as customers.
So I think, as leaders, we often have to take risks. You've got to make a decision to say, there's change coming, there's the unexpected coming. What are we going to do to prepare for it?
I think one thing we should realize is that nobody, no country, no government will be ready for the next pandemic. Wow. Because today we have coronavirus, the next one may be something else that we do not know about.
My 2 cents is people need to get their houses in order, check ourselves and look for true leadership, not just leadership. Yes. Is this phenomenon about leadership? True leadership is not about yourself.
Thank you ever so much, and thanks to my panelists.
Every one of you have a journey to take. You and I are already on the same first blank page.
When I reflect on my life, which I'm living right now, what will I be proud of?
You're positioned where you are because you are uniquely created to influence your organization and make a difference in this world.
And what's really important is to listen to yourself and then do what we really, really want to do, what's in our heart.
You have to make a decision during the process. Are you going to take the hard that comes with being successful, or are you going to take the hard with not being successful?
Don't forget where you came from, but don't you dare ever let it solely define you.
Don't you ever let anyone else write your story but you. You write on these pages the greatest story ever told.
COVID-19 has changed the world. But despite the challenges we face, the spirit of Africanacity is still alive. It's in the tenacity of the men and women who are still keeping us safe and keeping us going. It's in the creativity you use to find new ways to work, teach, do it all, and stay together even if you're apart. And it's in the ingenuity of all those who are making a difference. Thank you to everyone still getting things done. Your Africanacity inspires us.
Africanacity is Lorna Ruto recycling plastic waste into fencing poles that preserve the planet. At Absa, we love Africanacity and believe in working with you to get things done. Africanacity is Lorna Ruto recycling plastic waste into fencing poles that preserve the planet. At Absa, we love Africanacity and believe in working with you to get things done. Africanacity is Lorna Ruto recycling plastic waste into fencing poles that preserve the planet. At Absa, we love Africanacity and believe in working with you to get things done.
That when you have the right gender mix, the right gender diversity, you get better outcomes. And I think that holds true even when it comes to supporting women entrepreneurs. And we want to make sure that we don't just talk about it, that we live it on a day-to-day basis. I think you've seen here on the She Trades KE front, they've got bold ambitions. When they said they wanted to work with 3 million women, empowering them and taking their businesses international across the world, we said that's something we want to be involved with and play our part. We've subsequently moved a long way since that date, and now we've even enhanced our products even further. We believe we have arguably what is one of the best SME offerings, our Wezesha Biashara series of offerings. And in there, one of the things we offer is unsecured loans of up to 10 million with a repayment tenor of up to 6 years. And I think that goes to the point of covering off this challenge of not having security. Because I think with 10 million, you can do a lot to fulfill contracts. You can do a lot to get your business up and running.
So we have very, very strong women in key positions in Barclays, and that's all the way across the ranks and also at the board. Absa we put our money where our mouth is. And I think it's only possible because Absa says we want women to take their place at the table and we want their voices to be heard.
Let me also congratulate Absa for the transition you have taken, because I think you have understood the world, where the world is going. You have understood with these changes, I think you are better off being a continental bank. Through She Trends initiative, I see an impressive lineup of champions of gender equality and women empowerment with focus on one of the key drivers of the economy, entrepreneurship.
I want everyone in this room to move away from being referred to as a little kabiashara to being businesses that are sustainable, businesses that change lives, businesses that are recognized, businesses more than anything that can access this 10 billion shillings that as Absa we're putting out there.
Say, if we don't support our women to do what they need to do and to do it well, then really we're losing out on opportunity. As we sat in the various sessions, as we were coming up with this conversation around women and the propositions that we wanted to do around with Absa, as we were changing our brand from Barclays, of course, into Absa, it was one of those conversations where we had to be intentional to put women in the center of this conversation.
So if you really want to do business, if you want to get into the big ticket items, you need to start making the effort. You've been told if you want to get into energy, but also understand those guys, they whip each other, they cut each other's legs, they come with their studs all over. So if you're a woman who can't hack it, just first understand how is that field, and you know how you want to navigate, but the money is there, the opportunities are there, but you need to understand. First, it starts with rejection and frustration, and then education, and then acceptance.
Africanacity is not just a word, it is part of who we are and our commitment to working with you to find a way to get things done. We love Africanacity. As we turn one, we want to celebrate Kenya's Africanacity. Post your ambitions on our digital wall of possibilities and let's get things done together. Because we are not just turning one, we are one with you.
So exciting to have all of you present here and present online. We're not just aiming to be a PLC, but we want to forge and hold the hands of those behind us, even as we reach for the stars in our vision to grow leaders and add value to the community.
We see ourselves trying to participate in that shifting space. How else do we remain relevant? And that's why Standard Group came on board.
I think for me, COVID has been many things. But ultimately what I think I take away from this is that we are really stronger than many times we think we are.
I think there's very few companies who, number one, don't understand that their return comes from there being a healthy society of people who are making good livelihoods and who are able to contribute as employees and as customers.
So I think, as leaders, we often have to take risks. You've got to make a decision to say, there's change coming, there's the unexpected coming. What are we going to do to prepare for it?
I think one thing we should realize is that nobody, no country, no government will be ready for the next pandemic. Wow. Because today we have coronavirus, the next one may be something else that we do not know about.
My 2 cents is people need to get their houses in order. Check ourselves and look for true leadership. Not just leadership. Is this phenomenon about leadership? True leadership is not about yourself.
Thank you ever so much, and thanks to my panel.
Africanacity is Lorna Ruto recycling plastic waste into fencing poles that preserve the planet. At Absa, we love Africanacity and believe in working with you to get things done. Africanacity is Paul Kihuha turning scrap metal into affordable film equipment. At Absa, we love Africanacity and believe in working with you to get things done.
It's so exciting to have all of you present here and present online. We're not just aiming to be a PLC, but we want to forge and hold the hands of those behind us, even as we reach for the stars in our vision to grow leaders and add value to the community.
We see ourselves trying to participate in that shifting space. How else do we remain relevant? And that's why Standard Group came on board.
I think for me, COVID has been many things. But ultimately, what I think I take away from this is that we are really stronger than many times we think we are.
I think there's very few companies who, number one, don't understand that their return comes from there being a healthy society of people who are making good livelihoods and who are able to contribute as employees and as customers.
So I think, as leaders, we often have to take risks. You've got to make a decision to say, there's change coming, there's the unexpected coming. What are we going to do to prepare for it?
I think one thing we should realize is that nobody, no country, no government will be ready for the next pandemic. Wow. Because today we have coronavirus, the next one may be something else that we do not know about.
My 2 cents is people need to get their houses in order.
Okay.
Check ourselves and look for true leadership. Not just leadership.
Yes.
There's this phenomenon about leadership. True leadership is not about yourself.
Thank you ever so much, and thanks to my panelists.
Africanacity is not just a word, it is part of who we are and our commitment to working with you to find a way to get things done. We love Africanacity. As we turn one, we want to celebrate Kenya's Africanacity. Post your ambitions on our digital wall of possibilities and let's get things done together. Because we are not just turning one, we are one with you. Africanacity is not just a word, it is part of who we are and our commitment to working with you to find a way to get things done. We love Africanacity. As we turn one, we want to celebrate Kenya's Africanacity. Post your ambitions on our digital wall of possibilities and let's get things done together. Because we are not just turning one, we are one with you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you watching us from online, welcome. This is LIVE2LEAD Absa Women's Conference. The theme, Pivot to Thrive to Elevate Women in Business to the Next Level. I am so excited this morning to be your host. My name is Mercy Masila Achola, and I am very, very excited to tell you that we have so many of you joining us this morning. We already have over 800 people who have joined us on this Zoom link. We had more registrations, so if you know somebody who has not yet logged in, could you text them, could you WhatsApp them and tell them Absa Women's Conference has already begun. They need to be here. We want to be in the room together. So as we get started this morning, we have a good lineup of speakers, both local, international, plenty of content that is going to be of value to you. We want to build you as women in business. And I do recognize that we also have men joining us. So thank you very much for those of you who are joining us who are not women. You're he for she, and we appreciate you. So as we begin the day, I want to first start with a heart of gratitude. As you have seen, and you all know, we have been through 2020, which was a very rough year for all of us. I want to first begin with thanksgiving to the grand overall designer, God, for bringing us here today and enabling us to be part of this session. Next, I want to thank the Absa Board of Directors because they have partnered and have been supportive in us getting this event to you this morning. I also want to thank the Managing Director of Absa Bank Kenya, Jeremy Awori. I'm sure he's online with us. We want to say thank you for being supportive to women and allowing for this event and many others such as this to take place. We also want to recognize the Country Management Committee at Absa Bank Kenya and all the Absa fraternity, wherever you're tuning in from this morning. Without you, we would not be here this morning. As most of you are aware, Absa Bank Kenya is celebrating their first birthday. And I wish we were in the room together because I would tell us at this point in time to stand up and sing a happy birthday song to them. But here we are online. So have that song in mind with me and just let's say happy birthday. But you're with me on the chat. I want you to say happy birthday Tap in and start saying, happy birthday to Absa. We are one. That is what they're saying. We are one as Absa. And today, I want to just tell you, you're listening online. We want to engage you. We want to interact with you. And we're going to have some awesome prizes for you to win. So you want to stay engaged. And as Absa is celebrating their first birthday, they have said, we are one. Because they are one. It's a birthday celebration. And we all know in the African tradition, what happens when a child is born and they're celebrating their first birthday? The birthday is celebrated by the parents, not the kid. The kid doesn't even know what's happening. And I would say Absa has every reason to be celebrating their first birthday. It's been a rough year. They birthed this child in a very rough time, through COVID, through the pandemic. And look, they are one. They have survived the colic nights, yeah? We all can relate if you have a child or have ever been around a baby. They survived not colic, but COVID-19. So it's amazing, and we want to say congratulations to Absa as you celebrate your first birthday. But they're not just celebrating We Are One because it's a birthday. They're celebrating We Are One because that is their identity. Within the Absa fraternity, they consider themselves as one. My mentor, John Maxwell, says, you cannot give what you do not have. And so Absa is actually practicing the We Are One concept from within, and that's why they're able to give it outwardly. We can see the display outwardly. You will hear that their gender composition is 48% women to 52% men. That's almost 50-50%. So kudos and applause to you, Absa, from leading from within, and we can see it outwardly. They have also extended this partnership to their business clients and also to their suppliers, and we will be hearing a lot more about that. But I don't want to take you far into the program. You know, we also, in the African context, when you go visiting, you must be first welcomed into the home. And so I want to invite my very good friend, Caroline Dongo, whom I have known for quite a while. She's a woman of tenacity. In fact, when I had in the Absa logo that Africanacity, I know she's living example of this tenacity. Caroline is one person I have known who pivoted even in her career. She was she has a finance background. But today, she's the marketing director at Absa Bank. That's a pivot she made, and she is thriving for sure. So, my good friend, Caroline Dongo, would you come up and welcome us, give us the official welcome remarks before we start making ourselves feeling comfortable in this lovely home that Absa has invited us to this morning. Those of you near me, we're a few of us because I have a few panelists in the room. So join me. You will give the hand clap on behalf of those of us who are watching us online. So let's give a hand clap to Caroline Dongo. Welcome.
Our chief guest, Mizinga Melu, Managing Director, Absa Bank, Zambia. Mr. Richard Ngatia, President of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Herta von Stiegel, Chairperson, Women Corporate Directors of Kenya. My colleagues from Absa, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What a great joy to have the opportunity to speak to you this morning as we kick off an exciting session of great conversations, insights, and learnings. I love the energy in the room already, and I am personally looking forward to learning from the various speakers lined up. I would like to start by thanking each one of you for making time to join this session. In a special way, I would like to recognize and appreciate LIVE2LEAD fraternity led by Mercy Achola, as well as the Women Corporate Directors Kenya, for agreeing to partner with us to make this event a reality. The theme of our discussions today could not be more apt: pivot to thrive. This is a very timely and relevant to the times we're living in. Over the past 1 year, we have faced difficult challenges at a global, national, business, and personal level, which have forced us to shift from what was norm to start operating in a new order. The COVID-19 pandemic required us as leaders to think differently in order to manage through the attendant health and economic risks. We needed to survive, but today we need to do much more than just survive. The pandemic has been persistent and it continues to impact our lives. So what we need to do now is to pivot to thrive. So we just need to stop surviving and begin to thrive in the new norm. At Absa, and particularly in the role I play as a Marketing and Corporate Relations Director, we had to learn this quite early in the pandemic. When we launched the Absa brand in February last year, we had a great strategy and well laid out plans to grow business, significantly expand our portfolios, and essentially make a big impact. But no sooner had we kicked off our brand launch activities than COVID-19 struck. What we had envisioned as a fantastic year quickly turned into a period of compounded challenges. It is not what we had planned for. But there was a silver lining. As we grappled with the disruptive impact of this pandemic, we began to see some positive impact. We were challenged to show our humanity in the way we responded, and to demonstrate our agility and collaboration by adapting our ways of working. We have seen greater innovation, proving that we can continue to serve our customers through digital channels and grow our brand. Last week, we celebrated our first anniversary, and I am pleased to tell you that we have achieved all the targets that we had set up for ourselves from a brand growth perspective. Just like in our case, I'm sure that there are many of us in this session who had their lives, their work, their plans, their objectives, and so much more disrupted by the pandemic. Yet today, we are here with hope for a better future and determination to work towards that future. That is our spirit. We encounter challenges, yes, but they don't stop us. We turn them into opportunities and still get things done. At Absa, we call this Africanacity. So as we get into the session, let us channel our Africanacity. There's a lot we can achieve when we come together. As your financial partner, we are committed to continue working with you to connect your dreams and aspirations with the financial resources required to make those dreams a reality. My colleague, Elizabeth, will be sharing deeper details about the various programs and propositions we have under our business banking unit that can support your growth. So in conclusion, I invite you to engage with us. Do not hesitate to post a comment, insight, or idea, because as iron sharpens iron, so shall we help each other to become better leaders, better entrepreneurs, and all-round better people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline Dongo, for those warm welcome remarks. Now we have been welcomed, we're in the house, so we can begin to feel anger-free. So if you see me doing stuff, I have been welcomed. And I also want to welcome that, extend that warm welcome to all of you that are listening to us online. Remember I said in the African tradition, first birthday celebrations are normally for the parents. So we are not bringing gifts to the parents. In this case, because the parent, Absa Bank, has invited us to this party, we are the ones who are going to be gifting you. And we want you to engage with us online. And so that you know that I mean business, I have a question. I'm going to give a question so that as I go along, you can be able to engage with us. And we'll be announcing a winner for you. I'm calling this the early bird gift, those of you who are already online with us. And my question to you, which I'd like you to type the answer on the chat, and I have a fantastic team that is helping me to run this, is to ensure that we get it right. What is Africanacity? That is the question. What is Africanacity? If you can type the answer onto the chat, then we'll be able to pick out a winner. And what do you stand to win? We have a prize. The first prize will be an Absa pack, a John Maxwell book, a spa treatment, and a tea pack from Melvin's Marsh International. So what's in the prize for you if you get this right? You get an Absa pack, a John Maxwell book, a spa treatment, and a Melvin's tea pack. The first person to respond on the chat, what is Africanacity? So get typing, people, get typing. If I were you, I would be thumping away. So as I stand before you this morning, I want to connect with you guys. I said I want to connect with you. And how do we connect? John Maxwell says that everyone communicates and few connect. And I want to connect with you in the sense that I want you to first understand who is standing before you. LIVE2LEAD, which I have been a host for in the last 2 years, has been, as you have seen, not just an event, but it is an experience. A transformational experience is what we call it. And by the end of today, you will see and you will understand why. But let me also connect with you from a personal level. And perhaps you're watching me right now and you're wondering and asking yourself, who is this lady? Who is Mercy Masila Achola? I want to share with you a little bit about myself so that you will understand that even as I walk you through today, I am able to connect with you at every sphere and at every level that you are today. I am very passionate about valuing people and adding value to them. To be more, to do more, and to have more. I am married to one husband and a very proud mother to a 17-year-old son. I resonate with each and every one of you because I know you who is watching, you're either a businesswoman, you're either in corporate, or you're either in transition willingly or due to circumstances, especially last year because of COVID-19. And so I want to share with you that connection I have with you. I have worked in corporate for over 20 years. I have been in that environment, high-performing teams, competitive environment, and having to deliver. Climbing the ladder as a woman, I do recognize those challenges. Having to balance family and work. Yes, I know that. I left my son when he was 4 years old to go and take up a position overseas. So I do recognize and I can connect with you. After a while, I had to come back and decide what was more important, family or work. And I found myself taking a sabbatical for almost 2 years. So I do understand what those transitions are. I started a business, and it didn't take off. It was a non-starter. So for you, the entrepreneur who's working so hard and have tried many times, I resonate with you. I had a health challenge, which almost sent me to an early grave. I have lived in 5 different countries, worked in different cultures, having had the challenge to learn a new language, or going to places where women are challenged. I had to ask my husband to write a letter of no objection for me to change my driving license, for me to register my company. I have had it, like you. So I understand you. I've had to start businesses in 3 different countries from scratch. So when I say that today we're going to talk about how to pivot to thrive, your business to the next level, I can assure you that you are in good hands. And so I want us to engage. I want us to talk to one another. And I want us to be authentic and as practical as we can be. And so, my team, do we have a winner for the first question? As I wait for them to tell me whether we have a winner or not, we have heard from Caroline this morning that COVID-19 taught us to think different, to survive, and we now need to thrive. We are in a new age of business, where the rules of engagement have changed. The days of being safe, secure, having secure jobs and businesses are long gone. 2020 catapulted us to a different era. If you doubt me, speak to the taxi guy who lost their business. Even before Uber came, we know Uber came, but 2020 escalated this change more than ever. Hotel businesses today, ask them, they've lost to Airbnb. That's now our preferred go-to destination because we need to stay safe. We need to sanitize. We need to social distance. The giant publishers have lost to self-publishing. But in all this new era of business, of doing business, it presents new opportunities. And the question I want to ask you today is, as you're seeing and looking to these opportunities, who is your partner? Are you prepared to thrive? Are you raising up your hand? Are you looking out for your fellow colleagues and fellow women in business? And as we go into the next phase, I just want you to think about these questions. And I want to invite you to watch with me some videos of business people who have chosen wisely in the last year. They have chosen to partner with Absa as their choice bank, and they have been able to see an impact and a difference in their business. So join me in watching these videos, and when we come back, I'll be telling you about our winner. So I hope you've also answered the question I asked you. Let's have the videos now.
Mahitaji yangu kama mlemavu na yule mtu ambaye si mlemavu ni tofauti.
Nilikuwa mimi ni mtu mzima kwanza, alafu sasa nikaingia kwa ulemavu nikiwa naona na macho yangu. Kwanza ilikuwa ni ngumu, sasa ikawa kwangu sina raha.
Sasa nikaanza kuona watu tofauti tofauti na ulemavu tofauti tofauti, na sasa nikajikubali.
Tunatengeza products ambao hata uwezi amini ukiambiwa hii imetolewa mahali fulani ya walemavu.
Bombolulu started as a farming place. It has had many faces. We have rehabilitation places like the clinic where we do rehabilitation, and there are so many people that Bombolulu has been able to help.
Kuna watu wanaona kuwa mlemavu ni mtu wa kusaidiwa peke yake. Wewe unategemea misaada, lakini hapana, si hivyo. Kiini haswa cha Bombolulu workshop ni kuona ya kuwa hata walemavu ni watu wanaweza kufanya kazi na kuishi wakijitegemea na kuwa na familia zao.
Kiwanda hiki tunatengeneza vifaa kwa bidhaa vyetu kwa mikono yetu, na tunategemea watalii watoke nchi za ng'ambo, wengine local tourists waje wanunue.
Bombolulu was on a trajectory high because we had up to 8 customers from Europe.
Kama ushazoea, mimi nyumbani kwangu nala pengine mfuko mmoja au mifuko miwili, na najua nimejipanga mwisho wa mwezi nitapata mshahara, naweka stoki yangu ya chakula ambayo itanimalizia mwezi.
When COVID happened, there were so few products that could be moved in the market. So we started making PPEs. We went to KEBS and we got certification. And we started doing for the few people who were around. Absa saw the need of helping us.
This place was like almost to be closed down because we were about like just 4 to 3 people, you know, the orders we've been getting from the hotels. But now with this order from Absa, we had to call in the whole group so that all our machines now are working.
Absa kwanza nashukuru kwa sababu itafanya ule mtoto ambaye ameregeshwa nyumbani kidogo atarudi shule kupitia Absa.
My vision to that is we would like to have a bigger collaboration with Absa. The CSR activities they do other places, they can come in and help us get more models for the wheelchairs. The financial partnership, which is very important for any production. The financial partnership is enormous. Thank you, Absa.
Asante Absa.
Asante Absa.
Asante sana Absa.
I'm called Jane Jiro from Embu County. Now I am a teacher by profession, but I'm retired. I am a proud winner of Shida Meter promotion in Embu County. I joined Absa when I was very young, but I have been there for the last 46 years. If it was not for the bank, I don't think I would have been where I am right now. And the ultimate prize that God has decided to give me of 1 million shillings. Those that have not joined the bank, I'm sure they'll come in, they come on board. I feel good, I feel excited, I feel happy, I feel everything good. This money, I'm sure it is going to assist me live and be comfortable. And so I would welcome everybody who has not joined the bank to come. Absa is the bank. Today was the drowning of everything, because now I have gotten my money. And so I'm happy about it. I have joined the group of millionaires. I'll tell everybody in Kenya that you are the bank to join.
Nafanya biashara yangu Naivasha town na duka langu linaitwa Kampala Stores. Nilifungua account ya Absa last year October 2019. Absa walinielimisha na wakanifunza jinsi ya kuweka pesa kwa bank. Nilipokea simu kutoka Absa Bank, nikaambiwa kwamba nimewin 1 million. Kwa kweli hii promotion ni ya ukweli, na naweza advise customers wenzangu wa Absa Bank waendelee kudeposit pesa zao wakitumia paybill 30 ndio wapate chance ya kuwin vile mimi nimewin 1 million. Hii 1 million nimeshinda, napanga kutumia kwa kuongeza stock katika hili duka langu na pia kulipia watoto school fees. 1 million. Absa is my bank. Absa is my bank. Kwa kweli mcheza kwao hutunzwa, mimi nimetunzwa kwetu.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations to my namesake. Yes, Absa is my bank. She won 1 million shillings. Wouldn't you be excited if it was you? Thank you so much for those great testimonials. And as you can see, you're hearing it from the actual people who have experienced what it means to have Absa as a partner. So we do have a winner. We do have a winner for the question that I asked. And the question that I asked was, what is Africanacity? And the answer, before I tell you who the winner is, the answer is Africanacity is a unique way in which Kenyans and Africans find a way to get things done. Don't you agree with that? We are so gifted in the way we come up with things and the way we do them. So the winner that we have, and I will keep you in suspense before I announce the winner, I want to acknowledge some awesome partners that we have with us today, even as we're hosting this Live to Lead Absa Women in Business. The first partners I would like to recognize this morning is the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry that is represented by their president, Richard Ngatia. We also have in the room with us the second chamber vice president, and her name is Fatma El-Mawi. I'm happy to note that it is a woman. I will ask later on in the conversation why she's the second vice president. Why not the first? But we'll get to that. But she's there. And we also want to recognize Nancy Muthoni, who is the deputy chair, Women in Business. And I'm also made to understand that someplace, somewhere in this city today, we do have a congregation. Remember, we're in uncertain times. We're in a time when we need to social distance, to sanitize, and to stay safe. So they are somewhere safe. Women in Business from the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I want to acknowledge you. I want to recognize you wherever you are. And they are waiting eagerly to not only listen to what their president has to say or has in store for them so that they can thrive in 2021, but also to the other speakers that we'll be having today. I also want to acknowledge another partner, and this is women in corporate directors. We will be listening to their chapter head talking to us later on, but I also want to recognize Sarah Migwi, who's one of the members, and she'll be joining us, has been with us in the planning of this event. The chapter chair head is Herta von Stiegel, and you'll be listening to her later on in the panel. So, back to our winner. Who's our winner? Is it you? If you're in the room, I'd have told you to ask your neighbor, is it you? I'm told the winner is Edith Sidon. Edith Sidon, congratulations this morning. You are our first winner. You are our first winner, and we have noted your name, and we will be getting in touch with you to tell you where you can pick up your the first prize of today, which is an Absa pack, a John Maxwell book, a spa treatment, and a tea pack from Melvin's Tea. We will also be acknowledging, remember, the beauty of having such a virtual event as this is that we are able to know, and we did track the first 10 people to log in this morning. And I want to tell you that you will be also winning yourself an Absa pack because you logged in early. You showed your eagerness in getting yourself ready for today. So we will be going to our next session, which is a fireside conversation. And I hope you have your pen and paper next to you. I want you to pay close attention because we will be asking questions all along. We have a lot of prizes for you to win, and we want you to take them home with you. So pay attention, and you'll be hearing the questions coming your way. So we get ready now to go to our panel fireside conversation. welcome back. As we get ready for our fireside presentation, I want to read you another question that I have so that we can continue to gift you prizes. Today is a day of winning. So the next question that I want you to respond to is, when did we officially start trading as Absa Bank Kenya? When did Absa officially start trading as Absa Bank PLC? That's the next question for you. And you stand to win another gift pack, which will be an Absa book, Melvin's tea, and a John Maxwell book. So get typing away and we'll be listening. So I want to introduce us to our guest panelists today. And I know normally we talk about ladies first, but today we are in a women's conference. So we're going to reverse the role. So I'm going to go the gentleman first. After all, he's the only one in the room, or as far as our guest speakers are concerned. And the first panel speaker that we have today is none other than the president of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Richard Ngatia. He serves in the World Chamber Federation. He's also the chairman of International Conference of the Great Lakes Region, Private Sector Forum, representing 12 states. Mr. Ngatia has also served in the board of the East African Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture, and he's also the deputy patron of the Kenya National Federation of Jua Kali Association. He serves as a special business advisor to the Council of Governors, and he is also a managing director of Megascope Healthcare, which is a leading healthcare solution provider in Kenya. Welcome, Richard Ngatia.
Thank you, Mercy. Good morning, viewers.
Say good morning, yes. Good morning to you too.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I go to our next panelist this morning, and I'm proud to introduce to you Miss Elizabeth Wasuna Ochoa. Elizabeth is the business banking director at Absa Bank. And as much as we are here because of Absa Bank, which is our host, courtesy of Absa Bank, I know within Absa Bank, women in business fall under her docket. Remember, I told you at the beginning that Absa is leading by example and leading from the front. And aren't you excited that you have a woman heading the business banking section and able to have the interest of women in business at heart? So we're very privileged this morning because she has all the great things she's looking after: banking, trade, cash management, Islamic banking, vehicle and asset finance, agribusiness. SMEs also fall under her docket. So ladies and gentlemen in the house, we are in good hands. So let's put our hands together to welcome Elizabeth Wasuna Ochoa.
Good morning, everyone, and warm welcome to the viewers. We're very excited to be here today to have this conversation.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that. And then my next panelist that I'll be introducing to us is joining us virtually. Yes, this is the season, this is the era of being adapting to the situation. And I want to introduce her to us as she's joining us virtually. Her name is Herta von Stiegel. She's an award-winning author and filmmaker. I could read through for you her profile, but I can tell you, I want to share with you something very profound that I connected with Herta, even as I was doing the brief with her in preparation for today. Herta has lived in Kenya for the last 7 years. She moved to reside in Kenya together with her husband 7 years ago. So she's a seasoned leader. She has been in corporate for many years and has a big heart, big passion for clean energy. And that's why they chose with her husband to come and reside here. But Herta also has a very special heart in her life or passion, which is helping and supporting women. And as I talked to her, she said something that resonated and really impacted me in a great way. Hatta said she has learned along the way that she needs to raise her hand, but not just for herself, but also to raise her hand to help others around her. Isn't that wonderful? Yes. So join me in welcoming Hatta. And I hope we can be able to see her on screen so she can see. Oh, there you go, Hatta. Can you see us? Say hello to us.
I can see you, and thank you for that warm welcome. I feel like I'm in the Absa house, and I do look forward to contributing and connecting with the over 1,000 people also who are in the same room, in the same Zoom room with me. So thank you so much, Mercy.
Thank you very much, Hatta. And actually, my first question is going to be to Hatta because she's online with us, so at least we can get to test also that the equipment is working, so that if it's not, we have time for that to be sorted out. But we believe that it will be working. So Hatta, my first question to you is that you are currently the chapter chair for the Kenyan chapter of Women Corporate Directors. Could you kindly tell us in very brief summary, who is Women Corporate Directors and what do you do for your members?
Women Corporate Directors is the world's largest organization and community of women corporate directors. We walk the walk, we talk the talk, and it was founded by 3 amazing women who literally started this organization around the dining room table, recognizing that there was a huge need in the market. Today, Women Corporate Directors has about 3,000 members globally. It has more than 80 chapters worldwide. Our members serve on more than 8,500 boards of listed and private companies. And if you tally it up, all the boards on which we serve, it would amount to more than $8 trillion US, which means we would be the world's 3rd largest economy, roughly. So this is women's power, but not for the sake of power. Our mission is to inspire visionary boards worldwide and to really elevate best practice in governance globally. And heaven knows we need vision in these days so we can indeed pivot and thrive. So that's in a nutshell Women Corporate Directors globally. In Kenya, I am incredibly pleased that we have a thriving chapters with some amazing women. You mentioned Sarah Migwi in your introduction, Mercy. She is one of our board members and is co-chairing the Events and Programs Committee. So some amazing, amazing women who are board ready and are serving on many, many boards.
Thank you very much, Hatta. And I'm sure a lot of you who are listening and watching with me, you have been wondering, you're in corporate and you've been wondering, how do you get to a board level? You have had it there. Women Corporate Directors is there to support you and to work with you for that. And you've heard that they're leading the world's largest economy, if it was to be quantified from a world perspective. And their role is to inspire and to prepare you for that board role. Which brings me to Richard Ngatia. You sit in these boards and you see these women in those boards. And from a chamber perspective, I know you're one of the leading BMOs in the country. And as we heard earlier, we've gone through a time of survival, and now we need to thrive. Could you tell us, most of us are familiar with the chamber, but could you tell us, what is it the chamber has been doing and will continue to do in supporting women who want to thrive in their businesses? Maybe you could even start by telling us, how many women members do you have? I hope you know.
All right. Thank you very much, Mercy, for that question. Let me first of all start by introducing who Chamber is. Chamber is one of the family members of the World Chamber Federation and the International Chamber as well. And this chamber was founded in 1965, and ever since, our mandate is really to support the SMEs and to make sure that we advocate for them, to make sure that we network with them, and we find opportunities for them, and also trade facilitation as well. We actually have a membership of about 30,000, which is growing. But out of the 30,000, we do have associations with us. You have had the deputy patron of the Kenya Federation. That's the Jua Kali sector. There are actually 16 million members. And out of those 16 million members, we register them as an association. And we have many other associations as well, including corporates. Absa is our patron member, among other banks in this country. And therefore, looking at the number of women, today we have so many women joining us. If you look at the number, I would equate it as almost 50% today, and probably growing larger than 50% of the membership that we do have. And therefore, we as the chamber are there to make sure that your businesses are sustainable. The chamber is there to make sure that we connect you to emerging opportunities. And of course, we as a chamber are there to make sure that we connect you to the global rising businesses, and especially after this destruction that was there last year of the pandemic. But at the same time, joining hands together with women to make sure that we are part of the economic recovery.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I guess I can call you that, isn't it?
Chamber President. Yes,
the President of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. You have had, they're about connecting businesses. They're about ensuring sustainability, and they're also about encouraging collaborations. As you can see this morning, they are in collaboration with Absa and also the women corporate directors, because that is also something that they touch into. As we discuss Pivot to Thrive and how it can help women to elevate to the next level, I want to share with you an acronym of Pivot that I have used in the last year, and also give you a challenge to work with. Remember, I'm building up questions because I want you to win the prizes that we have on offer for you. So the acronym for Pivot, before I go to Elizabeth to share with us why Absa is doing or supporting women in business, is that the word P stands for pressing on and perseverance. And then you have the I in Pivot, which stands for innovation. We all know if you did not innovate last year, chances are that you're no longer in existence now. We saw people shopping online. We saw people making masks. They'd never made them before. So we needed to innovate so that we can be able to survive in 2020. And then we also have V, which is about going virtual. Digital business, which is about presence, it's about visibility, it's about ease in your transactions. And then we have the letter O, which is about opening to opportunities. You've heard from Richard Ngatia. The chamber is about opening up those opportunities and taking us back to collaboration, something which a lot of businesses had forgotten. And the T stands for tracking your activities. Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what is working for you and what's not working for you? Are you able to measure the progress you're making and the results you're making, whether you're in a corporate career or whether you're running a business? So there you have it, the acronym to Pivot, which brings me now to my next trivia question for you. I want you to form an acronym for the word Thrive. And the first people to give us that acronym on Thrive will also win a prize. I've not forgotten. I'll come back and I'll mention all the winners together. But for now, you have another exercise. And I want to use that to go to Elizabeth for our next question. Elizabeth, you chose the theme Pivot to Thrive, and in particular reference to women in business. Why is this so important for you as a bank?
Okay. Thank you, Mercy. Very valid question today more than ever. First and foremost, if we look at the world statistics, women form 50% of Kenyan population and just about 50% of world population. They are also responsible for 33% of all SMEs in the country and in the world as large. They also form 45% of all new jobs. So from that perspective alone, even as we had conversations internally in Absa, it felt that if we do not include women in our conversation, then we lose an integral part of our workforce. So the question is, what then would we do for women? Because it is important that they stand and be counted, make sure that they're empowered, bring them to the table, have conversations with them to make sure that we are providing our economy, our environment with able workforce. Because 50% cannot sit back and wait for the other 50% to provide for them. So for me, from that aspect, first and foremost, women are a viable environment or people to work with to ensure that we can grow our economy. We need to just step forward and be supported. The other thing that got us thinking is when we looked at statistics, less than 2% of women, since 2013, have been given title deeds that are in their name. So there stood our challenge, because whereas we are a financial organization and traditionally we've always asked for title deeds, logbooks, some form of security. We were almost sending women out but holding them, holding their legs and holding their hands by not allowing them to borrow unsecured. So our conversations around making sure that we can empower women, we're looking for ways and means to be able to support women without focusing and focusing only on security. We had to look for other ways. So we have then taken a lot of time to sit with women in rooms, have conversations with them across the country, not just focusing on women in the towns, because I know that sometimes tends to be the understanding. But we have gone across the country and talked to the women and come up with structural, opportunities, propositions to be able to allow them to borrow. The other thing that was quite outstanding for us is the fact that women form a basic, over 50% of the agricultural domain. They're the ones that support, the majority of them go to the shambas today, and yet we're not providing them with security. And as you mentioned, agriculture falls in the business banking domain, which we run. So we are very interested in being able to support women in the different aspects of business. We were also looking for women in the agricultural domain. We're looking for women to trade, because again, they tend to be entrepreneurs. So at Absa, not just the things that we want to do for the women, but also internally, as we say, our DNA is also about empowerment of the women, of the woman. Like Carolyn had said on introducing, 48% of them, 48% of our population is women. We are also subscribed to the SDG number 5, which is about gender equality. And I think you saw what we did earlier on last year, talking about our subscribing to the SDG goals. We are very keen on being able to support women, ensure that we're giving them their place in the room to have that conversation. Apart from that, not just internally as Absa, outside, we've looked for partners like the Chamber of Commerce. We've looked for partners like ITC, International Trade Center. And through the She Trades program, we have committed then to supporting 10,000 women by 2022. And this is our commitment because we feel that women need to be empowered, not just financially, but also non-financially. These conversations must not just take place in the bank, they must take place in the open domain. So in my view, and I think it's supported by the Absa view, it is important that women are brought into the environment with the support, both financially and non-financially, to be able to take their place in the economy. Because they form 50% of it, surely we must give them an opportunity to step forward.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. And if you're listening and you're a woman in business and you have not reached out to Absa as a partner, I don't know what you're waiting for. You've had they believe in women. They are seeing women as the viable partner, and they believe in them. It actually reminds me, Elizabeth, of this young boy who was sitting at home and his father kept coming home and hearing his father saying, "What have you been doing the whole day? What have you been doing the whole day?" And you probably saw it was on social media. And this young boy sat down and he did a painting. And in the painting, he actually did a painting of all the things he had seen his mother do, which was chasing the chicken, taking the cows out, cooking, washing, repairing his bike when he needed to, taking the cows out, in the shamba digging, going to fetch water in the well, going to the market, and all those things. And this young boy now, after doing the drawing, was like, what does that mean that mom does nothing during the day? So it is correct that when we are talking about supporting women, it's not just the woman in the city. Absa is about being all-inclusive. And that's why even with this session, this forum today, we are able to reach everyone. I think we have a record-breaking, first time ever, 1,500 registrations on a webinar. Isn't that amazing? And so I want you to be also part of the conversation. I know I've been asking you the questions, but I also want you to ask the questions to our panelists, our speakers as they talk. And please, as you ask the question, specify who you would like to respond to the question so that we can be able to ask them and have them respond to you. Richard Ngatia, we already have a question that has come through, which I'm going to ask. And the question is asking, how has the economy affected housing in Kenya? I believe, being women, we are very, very particular and concerned that our families are safe and secure. So what can you say has been the impact on housing during this time in the economy?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. And it is important for me to tell you, the women, that you as the women, you should never shy off from investing. That is number one. You should not shy from, owning assets. That is the second. I want to say that the problems that we've seen so far and in terms of housing is one is accessibility to women having that credit to make sure that they can be able to afford or to get closer to an affordable unit. And therefore, and also there is a problem of, again, information to women. We have seen the government trying to bring in affordable housing. These are structures that anyone would be able to afford, but then that information probably does not get to the right people who would want to invest in that sector. And therefore, for us as the chamber, we come in to see what is it that we can be able to support you as a woman, what is it that we can be able to support in terms of you accessing that information. So one of the things we do is to partner with institutions like yourselves as Absa to see how we can be able to have that particular woman access that credit. Secondly, it is not about just accessing finance or accessing credit so that you can be able to own a unit or an affordable house. It is a matter of making sure that you train and you capacity build the women to understand on how they can have their, their companies or their farms legalized. We have seen so many women conducting business, but most of them will not be able to access credit because they do not understand how to do bookkeeping, financial literacy, financial management. They're not aware. So we come in as a chamber to support them on that front and to make sure that in any bank that is able to afford them that credit, they can be able to do that. Secondly, is about the space that is available so that investors can come to make sure that they can provide enough houses that are affordable and reachable to the common mwananchi or the common person here in Kenya. And we as a chamber, we have interested so many investors across the globe. So far, we have people from UAE who are interested in coming to invest actually here. And one of the things is to make sure that we connect them with the government so that they can access the 40% of the land, and the government is providing land for free, and that also knocks out 40% of your investment. This means that that investor will be able then to build the houses, and the market is available. So that once you do that, you will be able then to access the market through the government structure. But over and above that, the private sector also, we as a chamber, we encourage them so much. But we also advocate to make sure that there are policies which are conducive for the investor, policies that will favor the environment, particularly when it coming to invest in that economy of housing, to make sure that the legislature will formulate a bill that will be able to protect investors, and also those people who are coming to invest, or foreigners coming to invest with us, they don't shy off. They can be able to repatriate their resources without any interference. So that would be my take.
Thank you, Bonangatia. I want to just add a line onto that questioning. And I know we are an environment in Kenya where we're supporting investors to come in. But I just want to pose maybe this also as a challenge to those you listening and to the chamber. We know women, we've heard about Africanacity that Kenyans and Africans have. We've heard about women that you're helping in terms of educating them on bookkeeping and all that. Is it possible that a woman, women listening to us right now, could come and form a chama, and you take them through that training, that land that you're saying you're allowing or facilitating for investors to get for free, and have them in partnership with Absa and other partners like them to come together and actually build these houses for themselves? We're talking about pivoting and thriving. Is that a possibility?
That is very, very possible, and we as the chamber have made it possible to bring in groups of women, to bring in development partners who work with us and support us to educate and capacity build women groups. For example, we have had, let me just talk of maybe one or two development partners who have supported us. We have had the Switch Africa Green. Switch Africa Green has been able to support women across selected counties in our country, and we have done that very successfully to make sure that we support them on 3 value chain, that is dairy, this coffee, and mango. So we support them on value addition. So that is one. In terms of making sure that we can have them as groups, in fact, we as the chamber, we already have constituted and put in place a circle. And within this circle, you can be able to come and get a lot of information, and also get information on how you can be able to invest and also to borrow. So having groups of women is possible, yes, and we have done that as the chamber fraternity, and also members who are joining us, to make sure that we have them to understand how they can be able to invest, to understand how they can be able to engage the emerging markets, how they can be able to engage and invest in our country, and also sustain their businesses. So that is possible.
Thank you, and great to hear that it's possible. And you know what? Absa is also having a wall of possibilities. Let's hear from Elizabeth. What is possible?
So I like that question that you've raised, Mercy, and the challenge that we have in the environment today. So even as we speak about affordable housing, the challenge for me to the women, from Absa to the women, has been, ladies, can we not just buy the houses? Can we build the houses? Can we capacity build within ourselves to be able to provide the doors, the building, the services that are required in as we build these houses? Because, as you know, it is a key agenda for the government to be able to build affordable housing. It is not just for us to go and buy them. We've got to be at the table when these conversations are happening, such that we also form part of the construction. We do have women who can construct. And I can assure you, if you go to some of the universities, women form architects. Women are the engineers. Women are the people who actually are on the ground. So why aren't the women at the table having conversations about affordable housing. It is incumbent upon us to step forward. Even as we capacity build with partners such as Chamber of Commerce, we'll bring you to a room and say, what do you need to have? What do you need to do in terms of registration, your compliance certificates, and all those things? We will even provide you with financing. But the important part is that you must put up your hand and say, be counted. The other thing that Mr. Ngatia raises that is very valid is the value chain. When you come to because it's not about just being individuals, you must understand the value chain that supports projects such as affordable housing. In that value chain, because you look at the, for instance, when you have investors coming into the country and they will then subcontract and make sure that you're part of that ecosystem that will, create the affordable housing. When you're in that ecosystem, from a banking perspective, we find it much easier to provide you with, financing because there is an anchor client and you are feeding into that anchor client because they have done their due diligence in terms of your capacity. We will provide you with security around the cash flows that they are intending to provide. So it forms a more secure environment. But ladies, you cannot be outside that environment and hope to be able to form an integral part of that conversation. So when you have situations like that you will be, with the platforms that we will raise, whether it is Absa or any other financial institution, with the organizations within ITC, with the organizations around whichever women forum that we have, that speaks to how can you be part of a value chain. Jump in and be counted and be edified. Learn what it takes to be in that value chain for you to be able to benefit from it. So it is just a challenge that I find a lot of women, ladies, always step back and wait. Let them speak and then we will figure it out. No, be in that room at the table with your chair. If there's no chair there, please carry your chair and be there to have that conversation.
There, you have it, yeah? So if you think you're not at the table because you don't have a chair, come in, bring your own chair. You have had it from both Richard and Elizabeth what to do. Loving the comments on Zoom, on Facebook Live, on YouTube. Keep them coming. I'm going to read some of them. I understand that we're being congratulated from Facebook Live that unlike the imaginary men's conference that just ended, at least we're having a real event here for the women. So well done, women. Kusema naku tender. Yes. Now I want to bring in Hata. I know she's with us online and she's also part of this conversation. And I do have a question for you, Hata. Question is, how does one join the women corporate directors? And is it open to only Kenyan nationals? Very good question there. Hata?
Thank you, Mercy.
Do you want me to repeat the question or you heard me?
No, I heard you. I heard you
great.
loud and clear.
Right.
Thank you so much. First of all, this is a global organization, and it is for all nationals. It's if you were on Mars and you were a corporate director, you could join as well. So there are no geographic limitations. So first of all, yes, you can join. Secondly, who is eligible? We have very clear eligibility criteria, and they are because this is an organization of women directors. So it is women who are already serving on boards, who are walking the walk and talking the talk. So full membership basically is for women who meet our eligibility criteria. But we also, and this is something we studied in Kenya, because we do want to equip women to be board ready. We have an associate membership that is enabling women who don't meet the full membership criteria to join. And then you can move as you meet the criteria from associate membership to full membership. So yes, welcome. It is by invitation, but you are welcome to apply on the WCD website. And also, Mercy, I think we can give you the email addresses and so forth of our membership committee, and please do join us. Please reach out to us. we would be delighted to welcome you once you have gone through the process.
There you have it. You know how you can become WCD member. They have shared what the engagement criteria is, and we will be sharing at the end of this. So you can message in if you would like us to connect you to WCD, and we will be doing that. We do have some winners. I'd like to announce their names so that I can ask you more questions. We have 2 winners. The first question that I asked, when did Absa first start trading as Absa? And I have Jael Junge, who said 11th of February, and I also have Ruth Zulu, who said 10th of February. Are they both correct? Who is the correct one? Ruth is the correct one. So unfortunately, Jael, you got it wrong by one day. So Ruth Zulu is the winner for that. And then on the Thrive acronyms, I have 2 winners. I have Maureen Karuanya, who has given, I know what you did, Maureen. You just went and Googled it, but anyway, because I did this homework, I know where you got this from. Thrive, which is Truancy, Habits Reduced, Increasing Valuable Education. You Googled, but anyway, there was no condition that you cannot Google, so you do become our first winner. And then we have Dr. Judith Gitugi. She has T for teach, H for help, reach, invest, value, emerge. And then those lovely acronyms. I will repeat. You have Maureen saying Truancy habits, reduced, increasing valuable education. You can Google that one. Like I said, it's there. Then Dr. Judith Gitugi, I think is authentic. She has created this one. She has teach, help, reach, invest, value, emerge. Lovely acronyms. You're both winners for today. So I would like to ask one more question to get you thinking also, even as I go back to our panelists. And my next question is actually an activity to engage you. There's a wall of possibilities that Absa has brought out as an initiative as they're celebrating their first birthday. The Absa Wall of Possibilities. So we want you to tell us, what is your ambition and plans so far that you think you can post on the Absa Wall of Possibilities? And we will be announcing 20 winners who will walk away with an Absa notebook for that. So get writing, let us know, share with us what your wall of possibilities are. You've heard you can bring your chair to the table. It's a possibility, so do share with us. Okay, so I want to come back to you, Gotcha. I've got some questions for you, and please keep those questions coming in, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, Facebook Live. Do share those questions, and we want to engage our panelists this morning. Mr. Ngatia, a question coming in for you is asking, do you as Chamber collaborate with women in community-based organizations which are non-profit and are working on women empowerment?
All right, thank you very much. Yes, we as the Kenya National Chamber collaborate with non-profit organizations, women groups as well, to support them and also to join us support SME, those women in SMEs. For example, we have partnered with Ambref Italia. Ambref Italia has come to see how we can support women groups in terms of making sure that we capacity build them, and also we give them short-term grants that they can be able to utilize, and then understand as we capacity build them, understand on how they can be able to engage in business and also engage in making sure that we are supporting people. In terms of making sure that, yes, we do support the community. For example, last year during this pandemic, we as the Chamber actually were providing essential badges for those providing essential services and those who can be able to penetrate and go to the wards, go to the local community to make sure that we support them, we understand their challenges. We have seen those not only who are affected by COVID-19, but floods, for example, in Baringo. We went there as the chamber to make sure that we can be able to help them with water bowers. We can be able to help them with even clothes as well. But one thing that we understood is that many of the companies were actually distracted and closed down. And therefore, those people, we held them, understood their challenges, and we advised them to make sure that they turn the challenges into opportunities. And this, I think, is what you're calling Africanity, yes. And so we started now looking at how we can be able to support all these communities in different separate counties. And therefore, we also reached out to corporate members, our patron members, to support us with resources so that we can be able to support them. You spoke about supporting the community with, for example, reusable masks. We have come a long way to find how we can be able to partner with the national government, which we did. We partnered with the Ministry of Health to see how we can support women groups, those who are local manufacturers, tailors, to make sure that we able to support them, sustain their business, so that the community can be able to access reusable masks for free. So we have about 7.5 million masks, which are being tailored by women, which are being provided by the Kenya National Chamber. We look at these women groups, those who are tailors, but we are also in association and working together with fabric manufacturers who then come to capacity build them on how they can be able to understand the standards, how they can be able to meet the specifications, and also how they can be able to do what we call packaging. So we are supporting them in that line, and after that, we are joining up with Office of the President and Ministry of Education to distribute these masks to the community. So yes, Mercy.
The answer is yes.
Is yes.
The answer is yes.
Thank you.
Yes, you have had the answer is yes. Now, Elizabeth, there's two very important questions I want to ask you here, but in the interest of time, I'll ask you to keep the answer short, but we need to answer them because they are very important. And the first question is asking, how does Absa support women startups and those looking at developing and improving their lives financially? You got that?
Yeah.
And then the second bit of it, which I believe is a rider to this, it's asking, what do you offer apart from premium financing? Can I come to you to purchase a fire policy or a money policy? Or are you basically dealing with premium financing only? I think those are two very important questions. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Mercy, and thank you for the questions raised. So as we, just to give a very short background, as we had conversations with women across board, across the country, two things came up. One, women needed financing, and women needed information about financing. So why do I say this? Is because a lot of the time you'd come into the bank and they'd say, I want a loan. But what do that loans look like? In the banking industry, there's a lot that we can do in terms of financing. So there's a lot of conversations that needed to take place before you get into the bank for that financing. So when it comes to women with startups, one thing I would say to them is, please come in and have conversations with the bank, because when you're in the bank, we don't only give you financial information, we give you non-financial information. We allow you, we try to give you access to markets. We try to give you access to mentors and coaches in our business club. We also try to provide you with opportunity to network. Because again, with the various partners that we have joint collaborations in terms of activities like this. We also have forums where we can bring you together industry-wise, because we also work with Kenya Association of Manufacturers. We work with OWIT, Women in International Trade. We work with a lot of women groups. So the question would be, where do you want to sit? And where are you comfortable in terms of receiving the information? Because the information is not just the financial piece. Because like I mentioned to you, we have unsecured facilities. Last year, we were able to come out in the market and say, with our Wezesha campaign, we have up to 10 million shillings unsecured for SME business. But you need to be prepared. You can't just come in and ask, can I have a loan? But what is that loan going to help you? learn the information before, learn the terminologies that the banks ask for. Just have a relationship with the bank. That way, we edify you, we support you into the conversation. When you require the finances, we can be able to provide you with the same. So to me, startups, please look for the nearest branch. You know, we'll be able to connect you accordingly with a business club. We're able to edify you, support you in your growth, and help you develop your conversations even before you need the financial backing. And of course, work with our partners, because we can't purport to be able to deal across the Kenyan domain. I mean, we have wonderful partners that we can connect with and be able to support you even as startups. We have a wonderful program even for the universities, university students. We talk to them. We've gotten a chance for us to have webinars where we answer their questions even before they come out. So connect with Absa and we will be able to support you accordingly. And as far as the premium financing, look, we have a whole unit of bank assurance led by an able lady, Julia Shisia, with us in the bank. It provides you, yes.
Good.
We are very intentional at Absa, believe me. We're very intentional at Absa. So what we've done is we have a whole unit for bank assurance, and it cuts across all insurance needs, not just for businesses, but even for your individual capacity. So we're looking at fire policies, motor vehicles. We're looking at education, because that seems to be a really big thing for women as well, because, you know, as a family, you need to be able to support your family. So once again, reach out to us, get the information, because the proposition is wide depending on your needs. Let's have that conversation.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Elizabeth. Hata, I want to come to you even as we're drawing to a close of our conversation. It's a pity. Time goes so fast when you're having fun. I have two questions for you, Hata, which are very related. And it looks like there's a lot of interest that people want to know how they can join WCD. So the question is WCD only open to private sector, or do you also include women in the public sector? And then the rider to that is, what is WCD doing to reach out to young ladies who are still in university and college, who need to be impacted in their future leadership? So two aspects. One, are you working also with public sector? And the second part of the question is, how are you supporting women, young women who are still in university and college, to support them in their leadership journey?
Those are excellent questions. First of all, with women in the public sector, we actually launched a public sector task force with the support of Professor Kobia. We believe women need to be involved in the public sector. Some of our members are actually chairpersons. For example, Rita Okuthe is one of our members who now chairs the Kenya Pipeline Corporation. It is critical that women of integrity, of financial literacy are able to take chairmanship roles. First of all, they need to be able to serve on the parastatals and so forth. Change happens from the top, and I'm a firm believer in John Maxwell's maxim that everything rises and falls on leadership. So women need to take those places. They need to take their rightful seat at the table, as Elizabeth said. And so, yes, we are supporting women in parastatals and roles that are not specifically private sector, because the public sector is so incredibly important. Secondly, how do we support younger women? This is something that's very, very near and dear to my heart, because financial literacy, we've talked about it here around this table. I trained as a lawyer and then became an investment banker, and financial literacy is absolutely critical for women to be able to take control of their destiny, if you will. So we do development programs and so forth for younger women. It's part of our mentoring, if you will. We don't have specific reach outs, if you will, with universities, but our members are more than happy, and that includes myself, to go to universities to speak. And to train younger women.
Thank you very much, Hata. And now I'm going to ask all our panelists to give us a 30-second parting shot. What is the one thing that you would like our viewers to take home with them? If they cannot remember anything else in this conversation today, what's the one thing you want them to remember that is going to help them to pivot, to thrive, to the next level in 2021? I start with you, Richard Gatia.
For me, I look at you women. We have CEOs, we have entrepreneurs, we have philanthropists. And I see women being so innovative, so compassionate, with a lot of compassion. And I would like to see you women inspiring others and the next generation so that they can get to the next level and be able to get to the, the next heights and beyond. Mine is to say that as the Kenya National Chamber, we shall support you so that you can embrace e-commerce, new technology as we approach the 2021 and the opportunities available.
Thank you very much, Gatia. Elizabeth?
Mr. Ngachi raises a very valid point. The opportunities are there. So it's for women to stand up, be counted, and reach out for the support. There is no question in my mind that a woman cannot do what they intend to do, what they're passionate in doing. So let us be counted for where it counts. The support is there from banks like Absa. We have wonderful programs to be able to support you. Even if it looks like a small problem to you, come in and have that conversation, because it's in that unlocking that will pivot you to the next level. We want to bring your possibilities to life. So please, let's have that conversation and let's move forward.
Yeah. There you go. And Hata, what is your parting shot to this conversation? Yes.
Parting shot, it takes enlightened men and brave women to change the world. It takes enlightened men and brave women to change the world. Enlightened men, Richard, it has been a privilege to serve with you on this panel. We need to cultivate the male champions and work with people who are seeing the glass half full, not half empty. We need those men at the table who are not afraid of women empowerment. So we need to cultivate the male champions. Secondly, and we need to find them. And secondly, women, it is time for courage. We all need to step up to the table. We need to stop thinking of ourselves as a minority. We are not a minority. Elizabeth shared the statistics with us, and we all know that. We are at least half of the globe's population. So let's think of ourselves as equal partners who have been put into this world to make a difference for this generation, for our children, our grandchildren, and those who follow us. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Hata. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Elizabeth. My mentor, John Maxwell, says, if you wait to get ready for the opportunity, when the opportunity comes, then you will be late. So this is the time to prepare. You've had the opportunities are there. The support is ready and waiting for you. Are you capturing it? You have to be the one to take the initiative. You have to step up. We have men like Richard, Jeremy Awori, and others who have stood up and put themselves forward to support he for she. So, as Henry Ford would say, if you think you can, you can. And if you think you can't, you can't. The ball is in your court. Thank you very much. We come to the end of our fireside conversation, and we will be going to our next session. At this point, if you're watching us on Facebook Live and YouTube, I would like to ask you to check on the chat. You will get a link that will transition you to the Zoom link. Unfortunately or fortunately, due to copyright reasons, we cannot air the Live to Lead John Maxwell content on Facebook Live or on YouTube. We have to air it in a room, which is the Zoom room that we are in. So if you joined us on Facebook Live or YouTube and you did not have the Zoom link, check in the chat. You will find a link there. You can register and you'll be able to get it. Okay? Then we will be moving on to, I will give you a very short break where you can have a break on that, and we'll come to that. But before we go to the live videos, I want to introduce to us a keynote speaker, our keynote speaker for today. And she's also joining us from online. And her name is Mizinga Melu. And I want to read to you her profile. Now, Mizinga Melu is a lady that I got introduced to not too long ago. When I heard that we were hosting this event and she was going to be one of our speakers and giving us the keynote address, I got intrigued and I decided to read up about her. She had just launched a new book, her first book, which is, she'll be telling us about it. And I am impressed, I'm intrigued by this awesome lady. Mizinga Melu is the managing director of Absa Bank Zambia. She has had over 20 years experience in the banking industry, and so she is an industry expert. But I even went and bought her book online, Kindle. And as I read it, she's not just a banker. She has worked in community-based social development with communities in several African countries. So when she's the managing director of Absa Bank Zambia, she knows and can relate to the spirit of Africanacity because she has worked in several African countries, including Nairobi. So she's no stranger to us here in Nairobi. She's a multi-award winning business leader. I will not read all of them, but you can check her up on her LinkedIn page and you can see the awards that she has won. And so I want us to put our hands together to welcome Mizinga Melu to give us her keynote address this morning. Welcome, Mizinga.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. We see you. The floor is yours, Mizinga. Karibu sana.
I appreciate. Asante sana. Asante. And habari to all my fellow brothers and sisters in Kenya. I lived in Kenya for a while. I lived in East Africa for a while as well. So for me, I was extremely honored to be called to speak to my colleagues there and my clients because I do feel very much at home. Let me start by acknowledging our host, and managing director, Mr. Jeremy Awori. Thank you so much to the managing director of the Absa Kenya for giving us such a wonderful platform and even opening it up to others to come and share. It is the true spirit of Africanacity. May I also acknowledge the director marketing, my sister Caroline Dungu. And Caroline, thank you so much for the excellent work that you do. You are always innovative and we're always looking at how can we keep learning from you guys because you're always many steps ahead. So thank you for this wonderful session. And of course to the Live to Lead director, the MC as well. And to all my fellow panelists, to our clients who have joined us, on the Zoom, and Facebook session. And may I say all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen who have joined us, a very good morning from you and greetings from Lusaka, Zambia. As I, here I've heard all the fellow panelists just speaking about how they are bringing possibilities to life, through the Chamber of Commerce or everywhere else. I just get so excited. I get so excited. And as Heta was closing there, just talking about we need enlightened men to support us as women, to just take the world to the next level. And that's exactly what Pivot is really is. And I try to look at the definition of what does pivot really mean? And, when we say, yes, we're going to pivot to thrive, but what does pivot mean? And in very simple terms, it just means to change, to move, to change direction, and to change gear even. You're at one place and you decide that, you know what, why don't I change gear to thrive? And this morning, I just want to talk about the different aspects that can help us get to that next level, so that as we are entering 2021, we are the women who will be able to say, you know what, we're going to use our base, our circumstances to get to that next level. Because as women, that's what we are good at. And, I start by, a subject that I'm very passionate about, that I've really been sharing with my team. And really, this is about the environment we're operating in. It's environment of complexity and simplicity. The COVID-19 environment is one that is complex. It's complex because, number one, we don't understand it. It's new. It's scary. As leaders, sometimes we're even scared to say, I am also scared. It's a complex environment. But what makes it even more complex is the fact that our shareholders expect us to deliver for them despite what we are going through in COVID. I've been looking forward to that little email coming from my board saying, you know what, Mizinga, for you and your team, is it okay if you can reduce on the numbers because there's COVID? And I haven't seen that email. I've been looking forward to that email saying, this is the time when you can spend as much as possible because there's COVID. So no worries about costs and trying to figure that out. I haven't seen that memo. So I'm waiting for that memo that acknowledges that it's a complex world and we should taper down on our deliveries. And that memo is nowhere to be seen. So it means our stakeholders expect all of us as business women, as entrepreneurs, as managers, as leaders, to show up and deliver. And that's what makes it complex. It makes it complex because already it's complex, already it's difficult, but we are still expected to deliver. On the other hand, it's simple. Simplicity has come in. And simplicity has come in because our needs suddenly have equalized and they're all simple. They're simple because all we need is, here where I'm coming from in Zambia, we talk about steaming, and I'm sure we talk about that globally. Whether you are the maid or the boss, at the end of the night, you're going to get a bucket of hot water, as our mothers taught us. You put the mango leaves in there, you put your blanket over, and you steam. So those are our needs. You don't have to say, I'm getting on a plane to London to see the best doctors, because you're not going to be allowed on the plane. So we are found with very simple needs. Which vegetables am I going to eat to keep healthy? How am I going to run, for those of us who are runners, for me to really make sure that I stay healthy? So our needs are not defined by how much money we have in the bank. They are defined by simplicity. So when you get that complexity and you get that simplicity, what you have is empathy. We are looking for our women leaders to come up with empathy. And the goodness with empathy is because that's what people are looking at. People are looking at us as leaders and say, where is the empathetic Mizinga who will understand that, yes, the shareholders expect us to deliver, but I need you to understand that I just lost my mother. I need you to understand that I was sick with COVID. I need you to understand that, yes, you're going to push me for results, but I need you to understand exactly how I'm feeling. And guess what, my dear women, and I'm talking to women here, women are cut out for that. God made us in such a way that we operate better when we are human. Our humanness is what makes us shine. Our humanness is what makes us thrive. You just go back in history. You just go back in the Bible. You will see that people thrived when they were human. And I'm really excited that during this COVID time, the leaders who have come out, and look at it, the statistics are there, even globally. globally, the presidents who have done well are the women, female leaders in terms of COVID. They've been able to handle it. The leaders who will do well are the women leaders. And why is that? It's because it's natural for us to be good. It's natural for us to work from the human point of view. The motherhood instinct comes out and say, we know how to deal with this COVID situation and still be better leaders without taking away the complexity of delivering to the shareholders. So it's our time to be who we are. It's our time to be what God made us be, who we have to just come out and be human. And as I'm looking at Pivot to Thrive, and I'm thinking, as women, we have been through this already. Yes, COVID is different, but guess what? We as women have been through this journey in our lives. So let me share a little bit about my life and how I've been able to pivot to thrive. And when I talk about change gear, I get so excited. And I don't want anybody or any employer to box me, because God has brought me this far and only He knows how He's been able to deliver me from different circumstances for me to get to where I am. And when I get to this level, I'm saying, you can't box me right now, it's too late. And I say to every woman out there, I said, you also have a story. Don't allow anyone to box you, because you have an opportunity to thrive to the next level. And that's what Pivot to Thrive is all about. My mother died when I was 13 years of age. And growing without a mother in an African environment when she died so young is something which is not very unusual, because mothers die at different stages. But for me, it meant being brought up by a stepmother. It meant me living and embracing my stepbrothers and sisters as my own. And that for me taught me what it's like to live in a community. My father could not allow me to address my stepmother as stepmom. My dad would say, she is your mom, and never should the word step come out of your mouth. And that's the African parent, teaching you how it's like to live in a community, teaching you that it doesn't matter who you meet on the street, as long as they're older than you and they are like your mother, they'll be your mother. You treat them as such. And my mother dying at 13, I learned to look for different women and just say, Mommy, I'm here. I need your love. I need your help. And as if that wasn't enough, I then decided that, look, I'm going to now make sure that I do well. My mother never went to school. And I said, I'm going to do well and shine and really do extremely well, in my exams and everything else. As much as I did well, the first degree I tried to take was nursing. So I am a nurse. I am an unqualified nurse. So I've been told that a nurse is a nurse, but no. I went to nursing, did nursing for about 18 to 24 months. And guess what? I failed. I failed not once, but I failed nursing twice. And failure comes with a lot of embarrassment. Failure comes with, I'm losing hope. Failure comes with, but what next for me when my friends have gone another step? And it was very interesting, because I'm thinking, even nursing, I failed to be a nurse. Up to now, I have a lot of respect for nurses, because they made it and they qualified, and I didn't. And from failing nursing, the next thing I decided was, talk about pivot, talk about change gear, was I'm going to find a job in a bank. And the first job that I found, I was fired almost the same day. I was fired because my father, an African man, believed very much that for you to be employed, you have to go through interviews the right way. If you haven't gone through interviews and you've just said, oh, I have been hired, you will not work, my daughter. It doesn't work like that. What you don't work hard for is not sustainable. My dad truly believed in integrity. So he went and saw the branch manager and said, hello, my daughter applied for a job, but I am surprised that you didn't call her for interviews, but she's been hired. I don't understand at what point you interviewed her. So my father was a cop. Sure, he was a policeman. And the branch manager said, we did not interview her because her results are good. And my father said, but this one just failed nursing. And I'm thinking, Dad, I thought that was a family secret. You don't have to tell my next manager. He said, you need to be interviewed for you to be sustainable in life. So my dad and the branch manager just decided that for the sake of good order, so that my dad doesn't get in more trouble, Mizinga, you are fired. So there I was, just failed nursing, and now I have been fired. And I go home and my dad says, don't worry, my daughter, the right job, the manager who interviews you the right way will hire you and you're gonna last in that job, not this one. At the time, I can safely say I detested my dad. I was like, this old man, he doesn't get it. You know, he doesn't know that I am privileged to get a job. But no, that's not how my dad operated. And the rest is history, because fast forward, and I don't have time to talk about that, but fast forward, I finally made it to be a banker. And when I made it to be a banker, I decided never again will I fail. I decided never again will my passion be boxed by anyone. And I decided that I am going to do very well in whatever I do. I'll work hard. So whether there's injustice in my workplace, whether there's people thinking I'm not enough, whether there's people thinking, and who do you think you are type, I say, you have no idea what I've been through. I am a failed nurse, now a managing director. Even that is good enough for me to carry on where I am. Even that is good for me to say, I can thrive. I've been there. I've been through failure. I've been through being fired. I've been through thinking my dad doesn't believe in me. I've been through all that. I've been through being looked over promotion. And with all that, I decided that the best way for me to continue thriving is to follow my passion. I love my job. However, I will not allow my job to box my passion. So what I decided to do is I will also do what I love. Do your work very well, my dear ladies, but never forget your passion. And my next point is about breaking boundaries, chasing your dreams. Chase your dreams, my dear lady. Don't wait for you to get to a point where you retire for you to start following your dreams. I don't know about you guys in Kenya, but here in Zambia, we have people who, when they retire and they get their money, that's when they decide to say, oh, now I'm a farmer, I'm a chicken farmer. And you now go, you know nothing about chickens, but hey, suddenly you're a chicken farmer because you've retired. And before you know it, the chicken dies, and there goes your pension money. Don't get to that stage. If you're going to be a chicken farmer, start before you retire. So follow your passion before you retire. Because by the time you retire, it's a time for you to just sit back and let money work for you. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Let money work for you. Read that book. You get to the point where you let money work for you by the time you retire. So I just decided that the best is to follow what is my passion? I love writing. Whenever I sit, I write, I blog, and I always used to contain my passion, thinking, it's just me and to use, at my place of work. After all, I get paid there. Then I realized that for you to be good at your job, you've got to do something where your passion shines, and then you'll be better at your place of work. If you are not good at something else, and the only thing that you always wake up to is your job, you're going to stress people around you. And that was me for a very long time. I stressed everybody around me because that's all I ever did. Work, 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 work. And I said, no, my passion is, I didn't fail nursing for this. So what I decided was, I am going to write and publish a book. So I published my book called Braving the Odds. And I just decided that I'm going to publish many books, actually. This is just the first one. And I'm going to tell my stories. I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to give, sometimes not only from me, but from the people who surround me. So I decided that I am a publisher. I am an author. And there I am. The next thing that I decided was, I'm not going to do anything that is boring, that is going to get me down, ladies. You know, when I first joined at my former bank, the first thing they say to me is, you've got to play golf. You've got to play golf because you only meet clients at the golf course. And I'm thinking, so what if you don't like golf like me? They said, no. You're not going to meet the clients if you don't like golf. You have to like golf. And I tried and I couldn't. I said, I don't like golf. Golf is good. And I really appreciate all those guys who play golf, but it's not for me. I'll do what I love. So I encourage you, ladies, do what you love and follow your passion. And as you are doing that, never forget to use your time to give back to the community. So my next point is about the power of the cupbearer. If we go back to the Bible and talk a little bit about Joseph, and to the organizers, I'm going to be done soon. I know my minutes are up, so I have to rush. So let me just talk about the power of the cupbearer. So if you go back to the Bible and you talk about Joseph, the reason when Joseph was in prison, what got him out of prison was the cupbearer. The cupbearer is the one who said, do you remember there's Joseph who knows how to interpret dreams? I remember him. He interprets dreams. If you bring him out here, he'll interpret the dream. So they brought him out there from a prisoner to interpret the dream. And when he was interpreting the dream, the king decided that you are going to be the most powerful man in Egypt because you can interpret dreams. But if you go back to how did they identify Joseph? It was through the cupbearer. The cupbearer is the one who said, I remember there's a good man, the power of a good name. There's a good man in prison called Joseph. So I come here to say, identify your cupbearers. There will be so many people around you, and have a good name. As Heta was finishing in her conversation in the last panel just ended, she talked about for us to look at for us to look for good board members, we need people with integrity. We need people with a good name. If Joseph was not a good man, there's no way the cupbearer would have remembered who Joseph was. The only reason why Joseph was remembered is because he was a good man. And he interacted. If you remember, he helped the cupbearer with his dreams. He did that. So don't think being good, being human. Remember, we started about being human. Don't think being human is about everything going in vain. As you are being human, you will have a cupbearer who remember you, who will say, remember Gloria, you are looking for it. Because remember, ladies, you are never there in the boardroom when they identify who's going to be the next head of business banking. You are not there. You are not there when they are deciding that who is going to be the next head of anything. You are not there. You are never in the boardroom. But in the boardroom, you need a cupbearer. And that cupbearer is your angel. So you always need to say, let me be a good person, because your track record is only determined by your integrity. Your track record is only determined by how good you have lived. Your track record is only determined by how human you are. Your track record is only determined by how much value you add to others. And that was Joseph and his cupbearer. And as you live as leaders in the corporate world, always lift up others. Always lift up others. Never forget to look back and say, I can be somebody's cupbearer. They don't have to, you don't always have to look for who's going to be my cupbearer, but even you can be your cupbearer. And my final point is about when you have challenges, and I say we started with COVID. You know, with COVID, as ladies, for us, we are used to handling challenges. That's why we are thriving during COVID. That's why you will not find a lady leader suffering during COVID. Why? Because it's who we are. We have failed nursing before and still survived. We have been fired and we have still survived. And it's biblical. You shall go through challenges, but in that I will be with you. It's biblical. So you just need to know that as we are going through these challenges, they are your access, they are your road to your vision. Embrace every challenge you are going through in your workplace, in your business. Your business could be really tough at this point. Your business could be so tough that you're thinking, Father God, where am I going to get my next, I don't know. You could have been importing from China. I've met so many of my friends saying, unfortunately, we have a problem because we have an issue because the Chinese now have closed their borders. So how am I going to manage? It is okay. Just look for alternatives. When we started, I think one of the panelists said, be innovative, ladies. This is a time for us to be innovative. Be Ethiopian Airways. And I love what they did. When everybody shut their doors, they kept their flights open. And when everybody said we are not flying, they said, hang on. Don't worry, we're going to now go into cargo. We'll still fly, but for us it will be cargo. I love what the people who are at the gym equipment do. And I was listening to somebody, it was quite interesting. And they said, we're making so much money with home equipment. Our job was never home equipment. Our job was always gym equipment. But we transformed and went into home equipment. And we were innovative. Let's be innovative, ladies. So, to conclude, let me just say it's our time to pivot as we thrive. Pivot to thrive. We are cut out as women to pivot to thrive. Whether it's failure that comes our way, we are cut out to pivot to thrive. Let's bring that. Let's not be shy to be human. Let's not be shy to bring our motherhood instincts to work. Let's not be shy to do that. Let's bring those instincts because in this environment, they will help us to lead. And we'll then go to the next level. So at this point, I think I've overshot my time. So why don't I stop and say thank you very much. Over to you, Master MC.
Thank you so much, Mizinga. Applause to you. I'm sure if you were here, would be saying Mizinga for president. I've seen comments on the chat. They're saying, oh, the keynote speaker is on fire. Amazing. And amazing nuggets you have given us there, Mizinga. We really appreciate you and just for evoking in us that passion and the desire to be who we are, to remain authentic, for reminding us that we have a source and he will resource us with what we need. That is God, He will resource us for what he has called us to be as women. And also re-emphasizing what Hata told us. Gatia, we're not leaving out men in this conversation. You are part and parcel of it. As you've had, women, we take everyone along with us. We don't leave anyone behind. And so we are asking to have enlightened men and courageous women. Women giving back. In the John Maxwell team, we call that paying forward. If you pay forward, it will come back to you and you'll find it with you. So, viewers, I want to clarify a few things even as we transition to the next session. First and foremost, those of you who are posting on the wall of possibilities, I want to direct you onto a hashtag. I believe there is a Twitter handle for that, and I'm going to read it for you. If you go to the Absa Bank Kenya Twitter handle, I'm going to ask for the Twitter handle to be read out to me. But what we want you to post on the wall of possibilities is to post ideas which will help a community. Ideas that will help a community. We understand you all have your own ideas, your personal business plans that will be and can be helpful, but we want to have that community dimension and perspective. As you've had, can we become somebody's cup bearer? Mizinga has told us, can we become somebody's cup bearer? And so when you post it on Twitter, we want you to hashtag we are one with you. Okay? We are one with you, and hashtag wall of possibility. Those two hashtags, you post them and we'll get that. And we will be looking out for you, and we will have prizes that we will be giving out. The Twitter handle is Absa Kenya. So tweet there on the wall of possibilities, hashtag, and we will be giving prizes from there. The next question that we'll be asking as we go into the break, and I want you to respond. Before I actually ask the question, let me also make a clarification. If you're watching us from Facebook Live and YouTube, you are the ones who need to transition to the Zoom link. If you're watching us from Zoom, you are in the right room, you are in the right place. We will just take a bathroom break, a water break, a coffee break, and you'll be able to watch Live2Lead from there. So if you're in Zoom, stay put. If you're in Facebook Live or YouTube, you will need to join us on Zoom with the link that has been shared. Okay? So this is the question for you. On Zoom, I want you to go to the Q&A section, not the chats, because the chats are coming too many. We're trying to keep track of them, and we don't want you to miss out on your prize. So answer these questions on the Q&A section. And the 3 questions I have for you is name 3 topics that Ms. Zinga has emphasized in her keynote speech to us. What are the 3 key messages that have been outlined in Ms. Zinga's key message? And if you respond to us, we have more prizes. I forgot to say, Ms. Zinga, are you still with me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Your book.
Yes.
Braving the Odds. You promised
Yes.
us that you will give us some prizes. Can you tell us,
Yes.
tell our listeners and our viewers, please?
Okay, so I will give you some prizes. Number 1, those who get the answers right. In addition to what the MC will give, we shall give you copies of Braving the Odds, and we shall courier them to Caroline in Kenya. So if you are in Kenya, that is, so we'll definitely do that. Otherwise, please go on Amazon, and we have reduced the price just for you to get the books from there. Otherwise, thank you very much. And
Wonderful.
The title is called Braving the Odds.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Ms. Zinga. You've had those of you who are going to get the answers right. In addition to the prizes we are giving, you will get a copy of Ms. Zinga's book, Braving the Odds. And the rest of us can actually go and purchase the same on Amazon. There's an offer going on right there. The break is going to be a 5-minute break. Hatta also, who was one of our panelists, she has authored a book, The Mountain Within, Leadership Lessons and Inspiration for Your Climb to the Top. She has also promised to give us 10 copies of her book, and we will include this also in the gift packages. If you're doing the Wall of Possibilities, you will also get a book that will be coming from Hatta. Thank you very much, Hatta, for those gifts. The bathroom break will be 5 minutes. We will also be giving out the John Maxwell book I've been making reference to. Is his second last book. It was released last year. The Leader's Greatest Return is currently showing on the screen, and we will be gifting this to all the people. We have 5 to give away on that, so 5 people will have gotten this in the giveaway pack alongside with whatever else we are giving. I also want to recognize Melvin Steve for giving us the tea packs, and Severin Spa also. They are giving us the spa packages. We have a Swedish massage, we have a manicure, and we have a facial to give. So thank you very much for partnering with us and helping us to celebrate Absa, We Are One. Once again, thank you very much, President Richard Ngatia, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I think it's nice to be called president, isn't it? When I grow up. Yes. Thank you very much. Hatta von Schiegel, thank you very much for representing women corporate directors. If you want to know how to join, get in touch with us. We will connect you. Absa Bank, represented by Elizabeth, we want to say thank you very much. And as I move us to the transition, let me tell you what's going to happen after the 5-minute break. We'll come back and we'll be playing you the Live to Lead videos. As I said, Live to Lead is not an event, it's an experience. And the live event took place in October last year, and we've been running the videos with Absa Kenya since October. We've managed to reach over 1,200 people before today. We already had 1,500 people registered today, so do the math. How many people will we have reached by the end of today? 2,500 plus. Amazing feat. And I want to thank each and everyone. Absa, you have been our partner. You believed in us. The Africa tenacity, we have seen it. And we really, really celebrate you for that. And we will be watching 3 of the 5 speakers that were featured on the live event. And very quickly, I'll tell you who they are, because I don't want to interrupt when we come next. We'll just go straight to the videos. Although in between, we still have some prizes to be won, and I want you to still keep engaged with us for that. So the first speaker we're going to listen to is Kat Cole. Kat Cole is a COO of Focus Brands. It's an FMCG brand in North America, and you want to listen to her story. Amazing, phenomenal. I will not, it's like what? We're about to watch a movie, so I'm not going to tell you. I'll not spill the beans on that. I'll let you watch it for yourself. And then that will be followed by Steve Harvey. Most of us know Steve Harvey, comedian, entertainer, and he'll be having a fireside conversation with John Maxwell. You don't want to miss that. It's an amazing, amazing session. And then we will be listening to John Maxwell. Like I said, he's my mentor, he's my friend. He has transformed my life, my belief and passion in leadership in a way that I cannot explain. And you will be listening to him talking to us about how you and I can change our world. So those will be the 3 speakers. So let's take a 5-minute break, get a cup of tea, go to the bathroom, drink some water, and let's be back. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, remember to switch to Zoom, because you want to stay with us in this room. Thank you very much once again for all that has gone on today. But we are not leaving. We are still here. So we'll do the thank yous much later. But for now, let's take that break. We need it. Thank you.
Every one of you, you have a journey to take. You and I are already on the same first blank page.
When I reflect on my life, which I'm living right now, what will I be proud of?
You're positioned where you are because you are uniquely created to influence your organization and make a difference in this world.
And what's really important is to listen to yourself and then do what we really, really want to do, what's in our heart.
You have to make a decision during the process. Are you going to take the hard that comes with being successful, or are you going to take the hard with not being successful?
Don't forget where you came from, but don't you dare ever let it solely define you.
Don't you ever let anyone else write your story but you. You write on these pages the greatest story ever told.
You know, often we hear about highlight reels and headlines and all of these amazing things that people post on their Instagram or the head of the news story. And those are the highlight reels, the accomplishments, the perfect post that we all